Hello students. Today in this session, we will be studying a poem from The First Flight, which is the textbook in English for class 10th. The name of the poem is The Ball Poem and its poet is John Berryman. John Berryman was an American poet and scholar. He was a major figure of the 20th century American poetry. Some of his famous works are The Dream Songs and Berryman's Shakespeare. He was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 1969. He also won the National Book Award. The Ball Poem looks like a simple incident of a young boy losing his ball. But there is a deeper insight to this poem. Here, the ball is linked with materialistic possessions. It could also relate to friends or family members whom we love a lot. And the loss of the ball symbolizes their death or their moving away from us. So children, this poem is a psychological study of a boy's reaction at the loss of something dear to him. Children, childhood is that phase of life where one is carefree, free from all responsibilities. But as we grow up, we come face to face with the harsh realities of life. We lose those things which are dear to us. And dealing with these losses is what we learn as we grow. The poet John Berryman says that the first incident of such a loss is heartbreaking and leaves us in a state of shock. But soon we realize that gains and losses are part and parcel of life. Therefore, we should not be unduly worried about them, but we should accept them. Everyone has to lose their beloved possessions and learn to live without them. This is what the poem, the Ball Poem, is all about. Now, let us read the first 10 lines of the poem. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over there it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime, another ball is worthless now. The poem begins with a question. The poet has seen a boy who has lost his ball. He raises a question as to what the boy should do now. The poet saw the ball bouncing down the street and then go into the harbor and finally into the water. Here the word I, used in the second line, stands for the poet. The poet wants to console the boy and tell him that there are other balls like the ball he has just lost. But the poet knows that this consolation would be useless. To the little boy, the ball is associated with his childhood, and he sees his childhood memories move away along with the ball. The boy is standing rigid in a state of shock and grief, shivering and staring at the harbor where his ball had gone. The poet says that he will not intrude, that is, he will not interfere or interrupt in the boy's grief. He will let the little boy experience his grief. The poet could even offer the boy some money or a dime to buy a new ball, but he refrains from doing so because he knows that this act would be worthless or useless, as money could help the little boy to buy him a new ball, but it could not bring back the memories and feelings associated with the lost ball. Now, let us read the remaining line of the poem. He senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes. The epistemology of loss. How to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. Further continuing, the poet says that the time has come for the boy to learn the toughest lesson of life. The lesson of accepting the harsh reality that one day we all will lose our loved ones and our favorite things. In this world, all that we love and possess will be lost one day. Here, balls, balls is repeated to emphasize that everything we hold dear to us will be ultimately lost or taken away from us, and this loss cannot be replaced. The poet says that money is external. This means that money cannot bring back our feelings and emotions towards the particular thing or person lost. It cannot buy memories, nor can it replace the things that we love. So children, through this poem, the poet John Berryman conveys a harsh reality that a loss of a thing dear to us or the death of a person we love is a part and parcel of our life. We should not regret over this loss. Nothing in this world is permanent. So, we must be mentally prepared to face any sort of losses in our lives with resilience and tolerance. With this, we come to the end of the explanation of this interesting and meaningful poem. Now children, let us have a look at the various poetic devices used in the poem. Anaphora is the first poetic device. When a word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines, this device is called as anaphora. Let's have a look at the lines 1 and 2. What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go. These two lines begin with the word what. Now, have a look at the lines 3 and 4. Merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over, there it is in the water. These two lines 3 and 4 begin with the word merrily. This is an example of anaphora. The poetic device repetition can also be seen in this poem. In this poem, words are repeated to lay emphasis. Let's have a look at line 2. In this line, what is repeated to emphasize what the boy would do after losing the ball. Have a look at line 13. In line 13, balls is repeated to emphasize that all materialistic things will be lost one day. Alliteration is yet another device used in this poem. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound in close connection. Examples of alliteration can be seen in line 14 and in line 17. In line 14 we have buys a ball back. Here we have the repetition of the consonant sound B. In line 17 we have man must. Here we have the repetition of the consonant sound M. In this poem, the poet has also used imagery. Have a look at the lines 3 and 4. Merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over there, it is in the water. Through these lines, the poet creates an image in our mind of a ball bouncing down the street. In these lines, we can also see the use of personification. An inanimate object, the ball, is said to be merrily bouncing down the street. Here, ball has been personified. Children, with this we come to the end of the poem. Hope you all have understood it.